Yes, that's a really good question. Well, our stupidity is one, of course, and our laziness and our arrogance, so that's three for a start. I think, okay, so we could say what it is. I think that we in the West, the fault from our side, the problem from our side, is that we already think we know what Buddhism is saying to us. And therefore we do not listen actually to what Buddhism is saying. We don't listen to the teachings of the Buddha. It's good that there's a kind of generally positive view of Buddhism in the West, that many people who consider themselves spiritual or philosophical feel akin to Buddhism. But I fear that actually, if many of these people really listen carefully to what Dharma is saying, they'd have a tremendous shock. Because Buddhism no more fits into a kind of post-Christian, liberal, humanist, New Age spirituality than it does into medieval Catholicism. This is alien to both, perhaps a little bit more alien actually to the modern kind of spiritual soup. And so what I'm saying is that many of those who are attracted to Buddhism and then proudly proclaim Buddhism and then pretend to and then claim to teach it to others are actually not hearing Buddhism and not teaching it. They're distorting a projection of their own unresolved narcissism, because I think narcissism is at the root of much contemporary spirituality in the West. It is actually nothing to do with just cutting through ego, but everything to do with satisfying the ravenous ego and surrounding it with a cocoon of kind of nice, warm platitudes and banalities. And much of Buddhism has been sucked into that, I fear, because of its audience has actually demanded that and reread it as that and then transmits it onwards in that way. So I think ravenous Western narcissism is probably the greatest obstacle to the effective transmission of the Dharma. On the other side, from the other side, with the dislocation of Tibetan culture, one might say that sometimes from the Tibetan side, it is not the real authentic and great masters who attract Western audiences, but those who are perhaps somewhat less qualified and therefore unable to offer us the real medicine of the Dharma. So I think there's problems from both directions.